move on. 219-845-1100. Hey, you're on the air. What's up?
Hi, Jed. Dave from Highland. I have a question about Markstown.
What'd you call it?
Does it have a historical status? I thought it had historical status.
There is an historical. Markstown is a historical place.
It's a historical place.
Right.
Is it designated as a federal historical district?
Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah, I believe it is. Yes.
And it changes what you can do, right?
Well, is there, and it's such a, I saw a documentary on Channel 11, and that guy who does the walks, the city walks and the river rides and everything, he actually went through there, and it's a classic European design. If you've ever seen the very narrow streets there, if anyone's ever been there, it's really cool, stucco, very European design. Is anybody getting any federal dollars so it can be maintained, or we can put a couple of bucks in it? You know, because it's so Northwest Indiana. It's so, it's obviously it's always been there since I've been alive. But and way before that, it's such a cool little niche that's the kind of thing you want to be preserved.
Yeah, there is a gentleman who lives there in Markstown, by the name of Paul Myers. And Paul has always been the lightning rod for that historical status and the push for keeping it a historical status, historical landmark. I'm sure he's pursuing any federal dollars that he can find, but he'd be the one to answer that question.
It's just a cool little enclave, and it was designed as a no drive streets, and it's just really cool. I hate to see it fall into any disrepair, and because that's people live there, that's people's homes, and that's their little community. And I was hoping if it had some sort of historical status, we could get some federal dollars or even state dollars in there to maintain it.
All right.
And that was my question.
Thanks a lot, Dave.
Thanks.
Just so everybody knows where Marktown is, and there's people in Cherville are going, what are you talking about, Marktown? It might be the most quirky, unique place in all of the region, because what is it? Let me bring it up here. It's like 8 streets by 3 streets. It's a Pine, Spruce, and Dickey. So it's at the corner of Dickey and Riley Roads in the middle of all of this industry. I mean, you look out, and in some of the, depending on what they're doing at BP or at the mills and what kind of traffic and so forth, it can be almost like light out there from all the lights from all the industry, but it's amazing. It's tucked in there, but initially it was for workers to walk right into the mill.
Correct.
Right.
And he's right. The streets are, I don't even know, I guess they allow cars in there, but
They allow cars in there, but you have to park on the sidewalk almost next to your house.
yeah, because it's
so other
really
cars can
it's
go
a
down the
really
street,
thin
yes.
street. And I have not seen this walk that he's talking about on Channel 11, but I would like to see that, because I've always thought the same thing. It's the coolest little area, and these houses that are like right on, I think, like Oak Street that face BP, I mean, they're really nice houses. And then you look out, and if you're into industry, you would say, well, this is a really cool place to live.
Right.
If, of course, you hate it, you want to get by a pond in South County, then, of course, it's not going to be your cup of tea.
The program that the gentleman was talking about has something to do with the Pullman, what is it, Pullman Standard, the rail car development in Illinois. It's basically the same thing. It was in a company town. The owners of the Pullman Railroad Company built this housing complex or development for their workers and their executives. And Markstown is very similar, same concept.
And of course, you also have a park there. You take care of.
Marktown Park.
And it's hard, really, unless you've ever been there. You don't even know where the park is, because you can't see it from Dickey. You can't see it from what's the other one? Riley. Well, you can see part of it, but it's kind of tucked in the back there. We're talking to Frank Rosardo and Fran Nowacki. They're with the East Chicago Parks Department. Frank is the new superintendent. So, Frank, any initiatives? You got all these parks, you got all these recreation centers. You just come on a month ago. I mean, what do you plan to do?
Well, right now, the first thing I have to do is catch up on what's been going on for the past several years, okay? So a good part of this past month has been reviewing records, reviewing paperwork, meeting with my foreman, meeting with the workers, going to the recreation staff, talking to them about the programs they have on, and then dealing with the day-to-day things, as well as looking forward a little bit and trying to figure out, okay, what can we do? Everybody knows Northwest Indiana is going through tough financial times, so that lessons, kind of pulls you back on what you want to do, the dreams that you have. I know one of the things that I would really love to do is, as I stated earlier, I'm a baseball coach. Block Stadium has always been a hidden gem as far as I'm concerned.
Is that in your Parks Department?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and right now, one of the things I'm kind of focused on and looking at real heavy is trying to find monies or ways to improve Block Stadium, because I think it would really be a draw to our city.
We're talking to Frank Rizzardo. He's the new superintendent of Parks and EC. We'll get to that, more of what he plans to do in just a second. Let's talk to Irene on line 1. Hi, Irene. Hi, Irene. All right, Irene waited a while. Maybe she, you think maybe she's like taking the tea off the stove or something? No, we lost her. Irene calls back, okay? 219-845-1100. She had some sort of question about the parks. Let's go back to Block Stadium. Block Stadium is right by the hospital. What's the street that it's on there?
Parish and 144th.
Parish and 144th. And it is a lot of history at Block Stadium.
Yes, very much so.
But it has the old bleachers that are still there, and some of them are in not disrepair, but I guess the new standards are a little bit different than the.
Well, believe it or not, the grandstand is the drawing card for it. Everybody that I've talked to, and I've just talked to a few people recently, the first thing they brought up was the grandstands. Not every place has that, and they say that could be the focal point. As important as the field is, the grandstand, just the history of the grandstand, the fact that it's there, is a big draw.
Yeah, believe me, and I've played at Black Stadium and gone to a lot of games there, and I think they still use it, right?
Yeah, we still play there.
Yeah, still play there, like, I don't know, maybe some Legion ball or something
The
like that.
high school has. That's the high school's home field.
That's the high school's home field. I did not know that. I guess I hadn't really thought about it. There's no, I mean, that would be where it was. I guess I thought back behind the football field there at Central there was a baseball field, but I guess
No.
not.